Hey guys, Dan for Almost the Grey, Dandalf the Grey, and as it's almost the new year, it is one more day until 2022, which 2020 and 2021 has been the shittest of all years, due to obvious reasons. But as far as YouTube goes and my YouTube experience and whatever, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing year. I know I said it the other day, but I just want to thank everyone who's watched my stuff, subbed to my channel, liked everything, even the dislikes, the bad comments, whatever. I enjoy them all. I took like quite a few days off the last couple of days because I got stupidly drunk Boxing Day, way too drunk, to the point that like I just afterwards I just sat in the house. I stayed away from anything online. I just caught up on like Netflix shows, played some video games. I just did absolutely nothing. The most unproductive I have ever been. It's what usually happens when I have a bit of time off work, because obviously it's the Christmas holidays. But I do have to go back in a couple of days. Hopefully with my notice. But I thought I would make a big mega compilation of my favourite debunks of 2021. Now, I know a lot of you have probably seen most of them. But I also know some of you have also not seen some of them, because I know that a lot of you only watch my debunking the paranormal videos, which is fine. Not all of you watch my other stuff like the reading the comments videos, the breakdown stuff. But I've included some of the debunks which I only did in reading your comments videos. Which, you know, if someone asks me a question, can you look at this? And then I did an on the fly debunking. So there might be some in here which you haven't seen. But they might also be ones you have seen. But I thought I'd put them in the big, massive, mega compilation. It's not huge. It's under an hour, which is pretty good for me these days. And yeah, these are my favourite debunks of 2021. And I am getting back on track now with YouTube. Like I said, I took a few days off because I needed to. I needed to take a few days just away from the world. But yes, I am back on track. I'm hoping to do some live streams. I'm hoping to do me and Rich are finally back on track, hopefully. Fingers crossed for other video game stuff. And just normal stuff. And I've also, when we get the time, I have a video I'm really looking forward to doing with a paranormal group who I like and enjoy. So fingers crossed. It's not an investigation, don't worry, but hopefully they'll come in 2022 as well. And obviously I want to be able to catch up on your comments as well, which I'm going to do a massive, in the next day or so, I'm going to do a huge, just reading all your comments, try and respond as much as I can. That will be quite a large video, because I've missed a few. But as always, I'm rambling, so I'm just going to let you watch the video. This is, like I said, some of you might have seen them, a lot of you, I know you haven't seen them, and I hope you enjoy it. The Foreman Brothers. Now, I said I haven't watched too much of Foreman Brothers, so couldn't form that much of an opinion on them. But then someone in the comments said to me you should check out their latest video. So I did. And I finally found it. I watched the entire 46 minutes of the video to find it. But it's about 15 minutes in. I should state, by the way, I'm not going to comment on the rest of the video. I'm not going to comment whether anything is fake in that video with the family. I'm not here to comment on that. I hope they find peace. But there's one clip about 15 minutes into it. I'll link the description obviously below. And they're interviewing the mother. When I first saw it, apparently it's an apparition walk past the doorway in the background. Now when I first saw it, I thought it's the husband. Right? But then it cuts away and the husband's sitting right there.
Great. And I heard my mom holler for me. So we went back to my house to see what Mom wanted, and she said she didn't holler for me. But we heard it. We heard Jenny, and then those barn doors started going like this.
We hear like a shadow went straight through that room.
Here's my thing on it. The apparition in the background. Now the mother is wearing a checkered shirt or checkered jacket. The husband is also wearing a checkered jacket, a red and, if I remember them, he's wearing like a red and dark blue with white striped checkered cardigan jacket. I don't know. When they're interviewing the mother, the apparition goes past, and to me, my very first thought was that it's the husband, because you can see if I slow it down or stop it, you can see the exact same checkered shirt on the apparition in the back. And so I immediately thought, okay, they're going to point that out. They didn't point that out in the rest of the video. I must admit, I didn't watch the last, like, 10 minutes. So maybe they did point it out, but I'm reading the comments of that video, and every one of them saying, oh, that's amazing. This is the best apparition I've ever seen. Well, most of them are. There are one or two who are a bit eagle-eyed. But yeah, I went through the video, and to me, it's the husband. And like I said, they're not faking it. I think it's just a misedit, or they forgot about a certain edit or something, or they didn't realize he left the room for like a minute to go to the bathroom or something. Because when he's walking past, and in the picture I'm putting up, he's wearing glasses, and when they cut to him, when the mother's being interviewed, he's wearing glasses, but the apparition is not wearing glasses. But as the apparition is walking past, you can see the movement of him going like that, where I think he's probably putting his glasses back on. Maybe he's gone to the toilet, maybe he's gone to the kitchen for whatever, maybe he's just left the room for whatever, you know. But yeah, I just think it's the husband. And when they cut, because you hear the one of them, I don't know which one of the brothers say, they think, I just saw something in the background. And then they cut to a zoom in of the husband sitting next to the doorway they just saw it. But I don't know if that was an insert or nothing or something, like a B-roll insert. Because when they're interviewing the mother, if you look at the clock on the top left, and you know, the cushion, he is sort of to the left of that cushion, but obviously you can't see him. He could be leaning forward, he could be just out of the way, whatever. So you can't take that part as gospel. It doesn't look at the apparition and then pan to the husband. It's a quick cut. So for whatever reason, they might have seen the apparition go in the background, or they thought they saw it. You know, they're concentrating on interviewing that woman. So they might have been interviewing that woman, you know, intensely interviewing, or listening to every word she was saying. Then they saw something by the corner of the eye go back in the background, without, you know, didn't realize for a couple of seconds, then you know. They said, oh, what was on the background? They didn't realise the husband was out of the room. Probably seen it on, I think it's the most recent Nukes or Slapped Ham, I can't remember. I am a moron. I am an idiot. I played the wrong clip because I'm a moron. Alright, so this is the video I actually want to show you. And you've probably seen it, I think, on Nukes Top 5 or Slapped Ham, or one of the most recent Top 5 videos. It's TikTok. You know where I think about TikTok. I'm not going to go into it. You know what I think about TikTok? Bullshit! Look how dark it's gone now. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so it's a gym goer in a gym in, I think, Brazil. He's doing his stretches, you know, stuff like that we all do when we go to the gym, you know, stretching. Now, first of all, you see something, one of the machines starts moving. Unfortunately, can't see the beginning of that area. They just move in anyway. So we don't see the beginnings of them moving. They're just moving. And you also see at some point in the video something pop out from behind there. Now, what I think that is, I'll get to that now in a bit. But yes, so the guy is stretching. He's doing his, you know, routine, what have you. Now, the one thing I will point out as well, I haven't got the audio playing here now. You see little fast forwards throughout the video. I'll link the original video down below. It's a TikTok video from Carlos Ruiz Trader. I'll link the video down below. Now, in the original video, there's someone commentating, they're actually filming the CCTV screen with their phone, I assume, which is never a good thing to do. I gotta sort this out. It's so bloody dark now. So yes, they're filming the CCTV monitor, and every now and again fast forwards, but the people commenting on it, which I assume are supposed to be there, their conversation continues. Doesn't cut, doesn't speed up. It continues the entire time, even through the fast forwarded part. So the commentary you hear on his original video is not the original commentary of whoever is filming the CCTV. That's one thing, right? He's doing his stretches. The medicine ball down below moves. Now, I saw some in the comments, not in my Discord, but in the comments of the video saying it can't be string because that medicine ball's really heavy. There's no way they can pull the string can pull the medicine ball. Fishing wire can catch a massive bloody shark. You know, you can catch sharks from fishing wire. You can catch all kinds of things. Fishing wire is bloody strong. I've got some somewhere. I don't know where I put it. But fishing wire is stupidly strong. As long as you got the right, correct, I think they call it grain. I'm not a fisherman. I don't know. But I think it's either grain or gauge. Gauge? I think it's gauge. But if you've got like a high enough gauge, I need to look up because I'm sounding really stupid now. Okay, so the strength of fishing wire is called the test. And you can get higher measurements of this fishing wire. Go to any fisherman's store, whatever you want to call it, and they'll tell you how strong fishing wire is. So it can 100% move that medicine ball, and you can do it with the thinnest of wire, which on this kind of CCTV footage, again, if there was a wire, which I'm almost certain there's a wire right there, just to give her a little pull along, you will not see that wire, because the wire is so clear and thin, but strong enough. But anyway, that's not the important part. So he looks at the medicine ball, gets freaked out, picks his stuff up, you know, obviously to leave, and gets dragged by an unseen force. Interesting. Very interesting. Then runs out the gym. So my first thought was that he's just an extremely strong gymnast. Then I looked very close. I thought there's one part where he actually does look like he gets pulled all of a sudden. But no, it's not. So in the original uploaders page, TikTok page, he actually has another viewpoint of a different CCTV viewpoint, the exact same area, the exact same scene, which I have spliced together in best I can. So I've spliced these together. I hope you can see with my big fat head in a way. But right, so I've synced them up as best I can. It's not 100%, but as best I can. So obviously in the left hand side now, that's the footage you keep seeing on the top 5 channels. And the second viewpoint, I haven't really seen. I think one of the top 5 channels had that second viewpoint, but none of the others, I don't think they have. So we're going to go through it step by step now, right? That's the only way you can break this one down, really. He's a gym goer. We don't know if he's a gymnast. I'm not saying he's a gymnast or nothing, but he knows about flexibility and his strength. He knows about that. So the first thing that happens, if you try and keep an eye out, I'm going to point things out with arrows and red circles, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So his right foot flings up, and then he throws the pink towel away, and you can actually see, if I go step by step, you can actually see his arm throw the towel. And it's not like a momentum thing of him tripping. He, for whatever, well, maybe to give it dramatic effect, who knows. So his right foot goes up, flings up, and which you can't see on the right hand side viewpoint, unfortunately. But the first thing you notice, if you look, which I'm going to put circles and stuff. If you look there, when his right foot gets flung up in the air, obviously he lands on his back, or his side, more like. If you look on the right-hand side where I've circled his leg, you can see him scooting forward. So this is reverse, that's forward, reverse, forward. He's scooting himself forward. He keeps scooting himself forward, but obviously he's flailing around. If in real time, it looks like he's flailing around being dragged. In the left-hand side, the part which genuinely had me slightly stumped for about a minute or so until I saw it was on the left-hand side. There is like a split second where it almost actually looks like he is being dragged and both his feet is off the air. It looks like it, which I'll show you now. So keep an eye on this area there on the left-hand side one. So if I play it in real time, right there. That's the part where I thought it almost looks like he does actually get dragged. But then if you look at the right hand viewpoint, again you can see his foot scooting himself forward. And the only reason you can't see it on the left hand side is because if I move this red circle here, when it looks like he's being dragged right there, his left leg is obscured by his left thigh in the left hand viewpoint. But obviously on the right hand side, you can see his knee go up to scoot himself forward. Then the next part is his right leg. So his right leg goes up in the air. And then obviously he's like sort of bending upwards. But he's using his own core strength, which he can easily do. And you can also see as well his left hand right there. He almost has to, if I go forward, instinctively stop himself from using it to push himself or make it look like he's pushing himself up. You can see him, he almost goes like that, then thinks against it, because obviously, you know, it's supposed to be a ghost pulling him. Anything you see here is nothing you can't do with your own body strength. He's scooting himself along with his right leg and his left leg. And then when he's arching his body, because supposedly something's pulling his right foot, he's just got his foot in the air. But you can see him, you know, he's pushing himself with his own arm. And right there, he tries almost to push himself upward. Yeah, so when he's going forward, he's just scooting himself along with his left leg. And he's arching his back using his left foot and the sort of like back of his left shoulder. Famous footage with, obviously, this is like a family filming across a field in Gettysburg. And you can see all white little ghosty figures flying in and out of the trees.
See?
I don't see nothing down there. Can't be the motorcycles, honey. There's another sparkle. You see what I'm
What's
saying?
that? What is that?
Tree.
No. You moved it, right? Right there. See it?
Uh-huh.
Look.
It's been doing the rounds for years. Everyone knows that footage. But I speculated, and it was a speculation. Wasn't a debunk. It was a speculation, but a sort of debunk, sort of. I speculated that the family were actually looking down a slight slope. It was dusk or dawn. It was looking down a slight slope, and they could see people walking, at an angle looking down. If you know what I mean. Obviously, if you look at the footage, if the trees themselves, so they do look on an angle, looking as if you are looking above. The trees always look like that, and I always thought it looked like people backpacking through the area or something, because I know they have guided tours around those areas in Gettysburg, but I thought it was people backpacking. I was almost right. About an hour ago, a new viewer commented on that very video, or the compilation video I made during last Christmas. Shana Whiskey Trots. Gettysburg video turned out to be a horse trail, and there were people on horseback going through the trail. So yeah, no ghosts, they're white horses. Watch it again and you can't see anything else but that. So I went back. As soon as I saw that comment, I thought, interesting. Interesting. I went back, and lo and bloody behold. If you look at the bloody footage, you cannot unsee those horses. I'm going to show you it right now. Now, I've muted the audio, which the people talking, because it's just easier. But if in the video you can hear them talking. What is that? It's all the way down there. They're saying down there, as in down the slope. I think they might have got confused. They were zoomed in. This is what the other speculation I always had as well. They were zoomed in. I don't think they were like, so they had zero focus. They were zoomed in. You can tell that by the way it moves and the way they're talking. So this is the footage, and if you keep an eye on like that area there, you'll see like white little ghostly figures flying through the trees. Unfortunately, this video has been had by the compression monster for years on end. I wanted to keep an eye on that one right there. Like I said, I speculated that that area there was looking down a slight slope. The trees, they do actually look like you're sort of looking down on them. You can see like a white figure up there fly through the trees, and a figure there. Right, that figure there. You see one, you see another one now. And again, right, that one there, that's the most telling one, and I'll show you why. So I put a few filters on it. I'm going to move my big fat head over there so you can see it. So I put a few filters on it so you can see the white areas better. So keep an eye on it now. And keep an eye on this area there, where they are clearly, to me, they are 100% clear as day horses on a trail. You'll see it one there now. You'll see it pass. Right, there's the first one. And you can even see the back of the horse. I'm going to go step by step. This is the clearest one I've ever seen. And until you are told it's a horse trail, look, right, so there's the horse's head. And then go a bit further on. Obviously, it's just obscured by tree branches. You can just about make out the back. If I go back and forth, you can just about make out the back of the horse. So for perspective, I done a little drawing, a very quick drawing. This is an extremely quick sketch I did just to show you the positioning of the horse and perspective. So there's my horse I drew. It actually doesn't look like a horse. It's probably, I just invented a cryptid there, but only like a minute or so, a couple of minutes just to show perspective where the horse is going through. So if we go back, right, that's the horse. That's the horse right there, that little white figure. That's the head. And there you go. So that's the perspective. Because you can see another one up there as well on the original footage, which I go further forward. The banking there looking down is going to be obscuring the horse going, because obviously the trees are in the background, and the banking there looking down has a slight dip. And the other white things you see higher, what we used to think higher in the trees, is just more perspective looking down on that trail. And there's another horse going out that way. There's a couple of horses going through that track. It's like a winding track around there. Basically, like I said, it's a perspective play on perspective. Like I said, once you realize it's a horse trail, Gettysburg has horse trails all over the place. Yeah, they do countless horse trails, horse guided tours. You know, it's constantly, like, there's even a white horse there where you see in that one. Obviously that other one is probably not the same horse. To me, this is clear as day. Put a few filters on it so you can highlight the white areas more. And you can see the horses walking through the trees, or the tree paths. And you see another one up there, if I remember correctly. But there's one clip, which we're going to watch in its entirety now, first, and then we'll go through some stuff. But there's one clip, and it is this clip. And basically, they go to a graveyard to do some paranormal investigations. And one of them lies in the grave, and he's there for a while, and then his t-shirt gets pulled. But we're going to watch it, and we're going to go through some stuff, step by step. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just breaking things down. That's what I enjoy doing, so let's have a look. The original video, which I've linked down below, is a lot longer, but obviously I've just cut it to where I wanted to see where the effect was. I will go through it. So there he is lying in the graveyard, and his t-shirt gets pulled. Now don't get me wrong, it's very good. It is very good. And then this part, he gets pulled again. Oh, my big fat head is in the way. You won't see it. Ready? That's the red circle, by the way. He gets pulled to the ground, then he runs off. You don't see him the rest of the video. Bear that in mind, which we'll get to. So a couple of things I've noticed so far. Well, there's two things. They're using masks and basically a tool to remove wires, which I've used that exact tool. I haven't used it for a while, but I've used that exact tool a couple of years ago when I made my Animals Big Day Out video, which I've linked down below if you want to go watch it. This little animal. I made a little short film of him on his day out. I've linked it down below. Go watch it. But I basically used the wire removal tool in that exact video. I rushed it. It wasn't perfect, you know, so you might still see them here and there. But I used the tool anyway. But so what I can see is a mixture of masks and wire removal. There's a mask around there. And there's also wire removal work down here. And I'll show you exactly where now, step by step. Right, so I've highlighted there where I can see the mask. And I'll show you why I can see the mask, right? But basically, I've highlighted that area there, so it's easier to see. If we go back here, I've zoomed, so you can see the area. Keep an eye. Can you see my arrow? Yes, you can. Keep an eye on this entire area there. Now, when it's playing, when the clip starts, sorry, you'll see that it's completely frozen. There's no noise on it. You will probably need to look higher than your mobile phone to see this, because it is very subtle, but in that area there, it's frozen. There's no noise going on until he puts his arm up towards it, and that's when the video kicks back in, because that's basically when it's frozen like that, it means a mask, an image has been taken of that area there. So an image of that area there has been spliced out, then inserted over the original footage, so obviously you can hide whatever you want to put over there, like an arm or string. I'm going to say string this time. It's probably a string or a mechanism of some sort on top of that area. Because when you see it in full motion, I'm going to flick back and forth. Right, so keep an eye on that area there. Right, did you see that? Did you see it? So if I go frame by frame. Right, so there now is completely frozen. The top area there is completely frozen while he riles around and his t-shirt gets pulled. But as soon as he goes to get up, if I go flick frame by frame, can you see it? They insert the original video back in, because obviously when they don't want to try and if they kept the mask there, his head would have gone under the layer of the mask. So that's why if you go frame by frame, I'm going back and forth each per frame here. You can see the reason it moves like that is because they've inserted the original video back over the mask. That's one thing. And another edit, which is quite obvious actually. You don't really need to go frame by frame to see this, but it's just before his t-shirt gets pulled. So if I just go back and forth the frame, if you can see, I've highlighted it, and basically I've circled where you can see the wall is moving. And the reason it's moving, like I said, is because that's where the wire removal tool has been inserted. And I'll make a demonstration of that now. You can see the edit coming of the wire removal being inserted. That's why there's a missing frame there. Or missing couple of frames. He probably just stood still. Likely stood still in the grave like that while his friends attached to whatever they attached to the front of his t-shirt. and they used the wire removal to move it. So I'm going to show you a quick demonstration. So as an example, I'm going to use Pop Luke Skywalker with his bobbly head. The old Luke Skywalker. Star Wars did nothing wrong. Pop him on here. And if I do it, it's usually best to do this kind of thing with a sort of plain background. But hopefully now I'm going to make this disappear. Do you see what I mean? And like I always say, the way you can always spot like a wire removal or a mask is the wobbling, smudgy effect you see around certain areas of a clip. So if I go back to that clip I just showed you, by the way, that clip, that effect I should say, took me all of 30 seconds. So, you know, obviously if there's more of an elaborate movement or something else, you'd have to animate the point-to-point tool to make it follow whatever you're trying to hide. But this was just a simple 30-second trick. Even though it only took me 30 seconds, I will spot some mistakes of mine. Not mistakes, but this is stuff you gotta hide when you're creating these kind of things. So if you look at my effect now, and hopefully I've circled it. See, you can see the smudging area there, and you can also see it on Luke's boots up there. It's basically, that's where the point of the wire removal tool is, and that's how you can always spot those kind of effects. And the final one then is the clip of him being dragged backwards onto the floor. Now that's their own red circle. They inserted themselves, but by doing so, they also highlighted some of the mistakes they made. So I'm gonna play the clip. Right, so that's the first thing that right there. And essentially, there's something attached to the back of his t-shirt, but they've tried to remove it using masks, but they missed out certain frames. So that's one. And if you go further along then, right, this circle down here is what I added. So there's the first one right there. That's something attached. Again, they didn't remove from that particular frame. And if you go forward again, and right there, you can see, which I'm assuming there's a harness to the back of his t-shirt. There's two wires there, but again they've used the wire removal tool, but they haven't correctly inserted the points, and it appears just for that one frame. Obviously they either missed that frame or forgot about it, because if we go to the next frame then it appears even more. Again, they didn't mask that particular frame out. But obviously, when you're watching in fast, in normal speed, you don't see that. Like so. And then he runs off, and you don't see him for the rest of the clip. Rest of the video, I should say. The video ends without ever seeing him again. You see a glimpse of him up at top, but it's barely enough. It probably ends right there, is because if they did show him, you would see the harness attached to the back of his t-shirt. But Salin, sorry, I do apologise, says, what was the explanation on that photo? I'm an idiot. I'm wondering how it was done. It's great and a creepy photo. She's talking about this one. And this showed up in the Impossible video. I've seen this video for years as a good video, photo, sorry. It's a good video. But I think there's been a few debunks on it, or a few opinions at least anyway, and the family, the two brothers in that photo have actually come out themselves, because this photo was taken sometime in the late 1950s, and this photo apparently only showed up about, I think it was 8 years ago on the internet. So basically someone grabbed their family photo off something and then photoshopped this hanging ghost dude, whatever, because it clips over the candlelight there. So it's in front of the candlelight, but the shadow is implying that it's behind the candlesticks. And the two brothers in this photo, I can't remember what the link is now, but the two brothers in this photo actually came out a couple of years back saying, no, we are the brothers, and they actually had photographic proof that they were the brothers, because they had other photos. Coloured photos, by the way, not black and white. They were coloured photos of the exact same room, with the same, with them in it. It was obviously different photos taken at different times. It was the same room, same candlesticks, and yeah, it was photoshopped on for the internet. So yeah, that has been debunked. It's a good video though. It's definitely a creepy video. I keep saying video. Photo, I mean. So the video starts with a girl rumbling through a box, and then she gets pulled by an unseen force Now, she's not using her own movement and physicality like the gym goer was, but she gets pulled. And then you see a little wobble in the camera. I think it's supposed to be the ghost messing with the camera, but I think it's just giving the person up in the distance time to get back, and it's just hidden a transition. It's hiding a transition so the guy can walk behind the camera. It's like, oh, what was that? What was that? Well, let's have a look, shall we? If we watch her go frame by frame, there are various instances where you can see the string. Now, hopefully I've pointed this out, because I've literally just gone from work now and I literally just started looking at that footage where I can see it already. Keep an eye on her foot. In various parts of the video, you see a little glimpse of something by the side of her foot. What's that? You can also see it there. Again, hopefully I've zoomed in and squared it. You can see all kinds of masking techniques around the foot. Like I said, I've said this many times, when you know what you're looking for is obvious. You can also see the string again, or something. There's something attached to her leg. But it's just being, remember how I said how to use the wire removal tool? And you see something there as well, which they haven't masked out. She gets up and runs away. And as she does, by the way, there's all kinds of artifacting going on around her because they haven't used the wire removal tool to wipe it out. I'm probably not going to call this a full debunking, but I can see the strings. I've pointed them out, and like I said, this isn't a full debunking one, but to me it's plainly obvious. And then the transition is to hide the fact that the guy was probably up in that distance pulling her along, and then they hit the transition, so it gave him time to go back behind the camera and come out and say, what was that? What was that? As I said in the previous video I made just before this, the masking tutorial, and why it's not a ghost, it's a fixed camera. You can do all sorts of masking techniques, and it's exactly what they've used by there. Like I said, I'm not calling this a full debunk. To me, it's plainly obvious. But, yeah, make a video about it. But it was more of an opinion piece and not really a debunk, but, you know, which is fine, by the way. I've been looking at Sylvia C's channel for a while, and I have to admit, it's hard to get through. It's a bit cringe. I gotta be honest, it's a bit cringe. I can't help it, but we'll forget about that. But no, there was a couple of videos on there. She's mainly in her kitchen, and it's mainly consistent of her looking at her knives shaking or flying out of the holders, tins moving, all while she's looking with the camera. Now, some of the things you can sort of see like a glint, but a lot of it is low quality footage, unfortunately. But there's one video which I found, one of her earlier videos. She also had a video out day before yesterday, which I watched briefly, but now she's deleted it. I don't know why. I was going to go back to that one, but she deleted it, and I have no idea why. But one of her earlier vids, it's a fixed static camera on her kitchen, and it's super low quality. It's really low quality. There's like various kitchen doors opening, kitchen cupboards, and one little thing. If you keep your eye on the big slatted white cupboard, where as soon as it opens, you can see a string glint, a glint of a string right there. And it's basically, it's a common thing when people use strings to make their ghost videos. You see it a lot. You used to see it in Mellowbird's older videos. He's getting a lot better now, but his older videos you used to see a lot. And because the low quality video will hide like fishing wire. I got some here somewhere myself because I used it on my own haunting video. But low quality video will always hide a taut fishing wire. But if you got like a low lighting, and then that wire slackens off, that's when the glint, you can see the glint of the wire, and you can notice it right to the right hand side of that slatted cupboard door, boiler door, the string coming to rest. Obviously it's been pulled taut, then it's just coming to rest. You can see the glint. Like I always say, going off that one thing, that one piece of string footage, and it's clearly a glint of fishing wire. It's obvious actually. You can disregard the rest of the videos as bollocks, as he would say. Barbie asks, Mr. Gray, will you please look at Mindsee's latest video between 26:55 and 27:20? There's an edit or a mask or two, and I don't have a computer to make sure. Will you please look at this and tell me? I know they are BS Paranormal channel, but I'd like for the true believers to see this as well. I know you may catch other things I missed. Thank you for opening my eyes to how easy film can be manipulated. Well, thank you, Bobby. I will have a look. Right, where are we at? 26:55. Let's have a look. Before we go further, one thing I have noticed about Mind Seeds lately, and well, I think it's lately. The thing is, I don't really watch a lot of Mind Seed stuff. I watched a few a while ago, and to me, they were the same as other like big paranormal channels, like the Ghost Adventures, stuff like that. But they seem to put the music, a lot of music, or eerie, creepy music, instead of just keeping things silent. I know I'm one to talk when I have music playing over mine, but I'm different. I'm not doing paranormal investigations. It's just different. But they do tend to put bloody loud music over their videos, and it's a bit annoying.
You just give it a little push. Anything.
Oh, we have a ball out of nowhere.
Cole. Tanner.
Cole, Tanner. Oh, another ball.
What? Holy fuck.
This is the most... God, no, I'm not going to say it. It's cringe. To me, this is cringe. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Bobby, I just saw the edit. Let's check again.
Holy fuck.
Oh, there it is. Right. Right, this is a classic edit, which a lot of these paranormal YouTubers put in their videos, and they think people don't notice. We do notice. We notice instantly every single bloody time. You think you're being clever, you're not, right? But ready? I'm going to shout cut when I see it. Not cat, cut. C-U-T. Ready? I'm going to shout cut.
What? Holy fuck.
Cut! And he goes into the room, there's nothing there. Because the cut I just pointed out it's a classic one. Franco TV used to do it a lot. That Korean YouTuber does it a lot. I can't remember his name. Dioche something. Michael? That one? But yeah, you see that one a lot is where it'll dip to black. It'll dip to black, and basically what they're doing, it's a very easy edit to do. And I've used it in my short films the exact same. So basically, there's two balls coming out of the room, and then the dip to black happens, which is an edit, is to hide an edit. So then obviously they'll give whoever's in the room pushing the balls a chance to run out of the way before they run in. It's a very easy edit. It's a very classic edit, but it's an edit nonetheless. But anyway, the clip I want to show you today, now I've looked around, I can't see anyone has debunked this. They've had some theories on it, but I've always had this other theory, right? And it's a clip from TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal team, is that what they call them? Ghost Hunters. Now they've been around for years. They're one of the first, I don't think they're the very first, but they are one of the first people to make like a ghost hunting show. And I believe, the same as these TV, like Travel Channel, ghost hunting shows, sci-fi, I do believe they genuinely started out trying to find something, who knows? And then obviously that syndication money came in, and you're like, oh shit, we need to start showing stuff. For those who don't know who TAPS or Ghost Hunters are, first of all, where have you been? which rock have you been hiding under? But yeah, they, like I said, they were one of the OG TV shows which started out, I think, as early 2000s. I think they were before Ghost Adventures. I think so. I'm fairly sure they were. But yeah, I mean, I could only watch a bit of them. I couldn't watch a full episode at a time because they were a bit cringy. I don't know if they're still going, to be honest. I'm not sure, but they were a bit too much cringe for me. Too much dramatic smash zooms and stuff like that. And it's like the dramatic pause, the drama. I hated the drama. Phone, please leave me alone. But yeah, I hated the drama in that show. It was so bloody cheesy. And like, you know, you'd have like the dramatic pauses, and you'd have both of them looking at each other. You serious, bro? Yeah, I'm serious, bro. You okay, dude? Yeah, bro. But the clip, which I always liked, and I've seen it on YouTube for years, was the one in the Eastern State Penitentiary. Now, Eastern State Penitentiary, I'd love to go there one day. I'm sure the building's still up. Yeah, they haven't knocked it down. But I'd love to go there one day. I'd love to spend the night there. I've always said any of these spooky places, I'd always love to spend the night in these places on my own and just see what happens. Love to. But Eastern States Penitentiary, I've always been interested in that. Sorry, my phone is beeping at me quite a lot. Sorry, right. What was I saying? Yeah, Eastern State Penitentiary. I've always been interested in that building. I've seen a few ghost investigations. I'm sure, fairly sure, Ghost Adventures went there as well. And whether I think the people who go there fake stuff, it doesn't matter. I like the creepiness and the eeriness of that place because of the layout of it. You know, the prison guards used to walk around without their shoes on. They promoted absolute silence because they believed that if the prisoners had absolute silence, then that's all they would do all day was pray and maybe, I don't know, pray the badness away. I don't know. But I've always been interested in that building. Sorry, I'm about to explode because my chair is sinking. I need a new chair. Look at it. Look at it! Right. Oh my god, I'm all over the place this time. Right. Anyway, the clip in question is, you must have seen it. It's basically they put a camera down on one of the higher walkways. I think it's on the second floor. And they let it run in, obviously. They let it run for hours. When they went back to review the footage, they saw this ghostly figure sort of come in and then quickly pull back and disappear into the blackness, the darkness. Now, it's a good clip. It is a good clip, but there's something which has always bothered me about this. So I thought I'd have a look closer. I took it into the editing. There's a couple of things. Now, first of all, I always thought that it looked sped up to me. It didn't look natural. It didn't look like a natural motion. You know, because you got dust particles flying around. You got the cloth on the left-hand side hanging down in the walk, or just over past the walkway, the white cloth. And then you got that black shadow which sort of zooms in and then immediately zooms back. So the first thing I did was I slowed it down. I slowed it down to about... Actually, I'm going to put that at 40%. I think 40 is the magic number for that. Don't forget, this footage is... I'm fairly sure this is like mid-2000s, this footage. And I can't find the original footage of the TV show, but I know it was pretty much close to this. And it's a low frame rate. You know, it's night vision, and you know the night vision cameras back then weren't as good as they are now today. So it's a low frame rate, and so you can see the dust particles falling. You know, because I'm sure that place is dusty as hell. I know there's like open windows, it's fairly open in that penitentiary. So you can see the dust flowing. Now, the dust is flowing at a more natural speed. So if you watch the shadow come up, if you watch it closely, I'll try and highlight it. It's very hard to see because of the artifacting, but it's more like waddling. When the shadow comes up, it's more waddling. Like it's someone with a cloak over them and they're just walking, right? There's that. And when it gets to the furthest it goes before it pulls back, you can see sort of a white area down to the bottom, almost like when they turned, the cloak sort of opened with the motion of the turning, and you can probably see like a white trouser. Well, saying that, this is night vision, so the trousers, pants for you Americans, which you can see, they're probably black or dark trousers, right? And obviously on infrared, that would be inverted to white. Black will be white on infrared. Not always, but it depends on the surface. But that to me looks like black trousers. And you also see like a sort of a shoe, and you can see at the bottom where the foot sort of like, when it turns, it leans, and then slightly, you know, like that, it swivels on the foot. But when it turns, there's a couple of things happening. Now, first of all, there's a few frames missing. When it turns, it splices out about 3 or 4 frames. When the shadow person turns around, before he goes back, it jump cuts. It's a very small, subtle jump cut, but there is a jump cut. So about 3 or 4 frames forward. And I don't know why they did that. Maybe they did that because they showed a bit too much shoe, or there was a bit of detail when he flung around that they saw more of the person in it. I don't know. But when they first fling around, when the shadow does fling around, before it pulls back, the white cloth on the left-hand side, which is hanging over the walkway, When the black mass goes as far as it does before it pulls back, when it turns, the white cloth on the left hand side sways slightly. So obviously what I think is happening there is when the person in the cloak turns, they turn fast for whatever reason. Maybe they're just trying to not show too much detail of the clothing underneath the black cloth. When they turn, obviously the wind flow from the cloth turn, the cloak turns, they turn fast for whatever reason. Maybe they're just trying to not show too much detail of the clothing underneath the black cloth. When they turn, obviously the wind flow from the cloth turning, the coat or whatever it is, blows against that piece of cloth hanging over the walkway, and that's where you get the slight sway. So there's someone physically there. We know that much. Like I said, when it turns around and starts going back, there's about two maybe 4 frames cut out, so it shows like a quick getaway into the darkness. Now, obviously, in the original footage, this was sped up. This was sped up to about 60-70% of the original speed. So if I show you the original speed, which it was, it looks much more like a shadow was just coming into view and immediately coming back. When you watch it back a few times and you see it go backwards, again you can see sort of the white of the trousers underneath the cloth, the cloak, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, where I'm getting at, it's one of the crew. That's what I think it is. Well, it's not where I think it is. I'm fairly sure that that's what it is. I mean, can I 100% prove that it's one of the crew? No, I can't. But there's someone physically there. That's what I know for a fact. So, may get me hit. Now, I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. There's only one channel I'm going to look at in this one. It's a channel I've been looking at for a while. Now, full disclaimer. Full disclosure, I should say. I like the haunted side. Patrick and Jason, they seem like genuine blokes to me, right? They seem genuinely decent folk. A couple of things I've seen in there which I'm like, don't know about that. But there's one which has always bugged me. Now, I should say, in this clip I'm about to go through, I don't think they deliberately faked anything. I think they did use sort of like a B-roll and didn't say it, but I don't think they faked it. I just like to state that. I'll get into it anyway. But anyway, because I know I'm going to get so much shit for this, but it is the way it is. Now, as you always know, no matter, even if I like a channel, even if I like a video or whatever, if I see something, I have to talk about it. I have to point it out. It's just the way I am. Probably like some bloody Tourette's or something, I don't know. But I have to talk about it. So, it's the clip where they're going in the Clean Water Demon House. And it's the clip where Patrick is holding the night vision camera. We'll go through in a bit, but I'm going to show you in a bit. But Patrick is holding the night vision camera. Jason is filming him from the right-hand side. And as they walk through into the next part of the building, in the left-hand side, and through the window, you see like a black hooded figure or cloaked figure.
Okay, yeah, let's take this test. I don't know what it is about that staircase, but it just doesn't feel good. What was that?
Now, I remember seeing it and I thought, right, it's a dude, right? There's a person standing there for whatever reason, but as they go further in the clip, Patrick stops. He says, "What was that? I just seen something." Now he's looking at like the screen, from what I can tell on his night vision camera, is about that big. It's very small screen for his night vision camera. But the thing that bugs me with this, and I always thought it was a bit off, and I'm gonna state right now, I could be 100% wrong about this, but this is where I can see the night vision version of the camera and the
staircase, but it just doesn't
the standard version of the camera, the footage that Jason is filming of Patrick is off. I've made like a simple animation to explain it because I can't bloody explain it properly. So anyway, I've made a blueprint which I absolutely did not obsess over, just to make this point. On the right we have the building with the layout descriptions where the shadow dude was seen. To represent both Patrick and Jason, we have the colours red and yellow. Red for Patrick, yellow for Jason.
Hey guy, hey dude.
So in the original video they show Patrick being filmed by Jason and then both walk into the building with Patrick holding the night vision camera, and we can see the shadow dude in the window as Patrick walks in.
What was that?
I've gone over and over this footage, and there's something bugging me which I just could not put my finger on. So in the diagram, we can see Patrick in red walking in first, directly from the door, with the camera pointing at the door the entire time. He walks through and Jason films him. Then we cut to night vision. However, in the night vision, shown in green, to me it looks like the camera starts further to the right of the door. So much so that it has to go around the corner to the right and through the doorway, and then you see the shadow dude. I'm not saying Patrick, when he was walking through that into the next building, I'm not saying he didn't see anything in the window, right? My thoughts on that. Because when they showed the live footage from Jason's point of view, there is clearly no guy in a cloak behind that window. There's nothing there. But what I think has happened is Patrick walked through with Jason filming him, and he saw something on a tiny little monitor, which is probably about 3 by 2 inches big, or maybe 3 by 3. And maybe he thought he saw something, or maybe he did something, who knows, I don't know. Maybe he did see something, I don't know. But when they went back to review the night vision footage, they didn't see anything on the footage. So maybe, now I know this video was like about a year ago, I think. I mean, they were just not just starting out, but they were a smaller channel. And maybe, just maybe, that they went back, reenacted the night vision part of the footage, sort of like a representation B-roll style thing, and then just spliced it into the real footage of Patrick going through the doorway and just didn't say. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's what I think possibly could have happened. Because like I said, to me, it looks like that when you watch Jason filming Patrick, he goes in at like a steady angle towards the door. I should say he is holding the camera like that, and he does sort of move towards Jason first and then go through the door. But the motion he's going directly to the doorway. Whereas when you see the night vision version, it is going around the corner, almost coming from the right hand side, then going into the doorway. That's what I can see. Now, like I said.